session. Participants will continue to benefit from the expertise of renowned national and international speakers from countries like USA, Canada, Australia, Egypt, and India, who will share both cutting edge research insights and practical field experiences. The overarching objective of this program is to build capacity, promote innovation led agriculture, strengthen global academic cooperation, and translate scientific research into impactful real world solutions. We sincerely acknowledge and appreciate the valuable support of our collaborating institutions VNMKV Parbhani, UAS Raichur, Level University Canada, and ICAR NBPGR New Delhi for their continued contribution to the success of this initiative. With these words, let us proceed with Day 10, reaffirming our collective commitment towards building a sustainable, inclusive, and future ready agriculture ecosystem. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, it is my privilege to introduce a distinguished professional and a leading voice in modern, sustainable, and technology driven agriculture, Dr. Praveen Singh, widely known as the Kheti Badi Wala. He is renowned hydroponic professional, agri innovator, and the director of PPRII Delhi. Dr. Singh has dedicated his career to advancing hydroponics, protected cultivation, and precision based farming systems, with a strong focus on sustainable, resource efficient, and climate resilient agriculture practices. Through his research, training programs, and services, he has empowered farmers, agri entrepreneurs, students, and professionals by translating scientific knowledge into practical field level solutions. As the founder of the Kheti Badiwala platform, he actively promotes knowledge, dissemination, digital extension, and farmer centric innovation, bridging the gap between research and real world application. In his role at PPRII, he continues to contribute to research, training, consultancy, and policy oriented initiatives aimed at strengthening sustainable agriculture development and inspiring youth engagement. We are honored to have Dr. Praveen Singh with us today, and we are confident that his insights and expertise will add immense value to this session. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Praveen Singh, the Kheti Badi Wala.
Hey, thank you, Neha. Thank you, Neha, for giving me an opportunity to interact with those who are looking to contribute for agriculture.
Thank you so much.
Having said that, yeah, challenge is really great and attractive too. बिकॉज आज अगर हम पीछे मुड़ के देखते हैं तो खेती जो ना करने का कहीं ना कहीं लोग खेती से भागते थे वो ये होता था कि खेती केवल एक ट्रेडिशनल वे में ही की जा सकती है और ये बड़ी मेहनत का काम होता है और इसमें बहुत सारा क्या कहते हैं नॉलेज चाहिए होता है, स्किल चाहिए होता है, एफर्ट चाहिए होता है और हाथ भी गंदे होते हैं. So that's the kind of understanding in Indian context, if I talk about. So Indian context is always talking about farming as a kind of a forceful profession, however, with all liabilities of risk. If there is a climate change, if there is any kind of a weather impact on their crop, if there's a price volatility or any kind of such event, the liability or risk is always with the grower. So as Neha rightly said, that we are here to understand and try to see that what are those basic requirement for adopting a kind of agriculture where we can really contribute significantly for the society by serving them what they are looking for. So I will try to structure today's session into two segments. A very brief outline about this high-tech farming, and Indian agriculture context, followed by an interactive session. And I would love to take up the questions from the participants on this high tech farming, whether it is hydroponics, whether it is indoor farming, whether it is kind of aeroponics, or any such kind of interactive questions where I can clear the doubts. Because the bottleneck for anyone to venture or enter in this sector is if he can get a right answer for his queries and his or her queries or questions. So let's begin with that, the agriculture, the kheti badi. What is that? So there is different understanding for different role players, but ultimately it is a kind of a system where we are putting input and getting output in terms of a produce. So one, the input industry, another is the output industry. This two industry is well established. ये दो पार्ट जो खेती बाड़ी के हैं ये बहुत अच्छे से established है. If we see like in India or across the globe, these two parts means the input plus the output. A lot of work is already being done, but I'm not saying that there is little opportunity in both these two part of Indian agriculture. However, the most crucial and most important part is the growing. सो एग्रीकल्चर का अगर हमने देखा कि एक इनपुट इंडस्ट्री से आता है, दूसरा आउटपुट इंडस्ट्री होता है, तीसरा ग्रोअर होता है. और आज के दिन में अगर हम देखें तो इस फार्मिंग या खेती बाड़ी में दो डिफरेंट बकेट्स इवॉल्व हो रहे हैं. अगर इवॉल्व भी नहीं हो रहे हैं, बल्कि अगर हम देखें तो एक बड़ा जो ट्रेडिशनल फार्मिंग हमारा आज तक जो भी होती थी वो ट्रेडिशनल फार्मिंग होती थी जिसमें कि किसान मिट्टी में खेती करता है और he is majorly focusing on what the grains or a little bit or very small growers who are also contributing for producing vegetable, which I am considering or giving a name that green means green whatever the fresh coming out of the farm. There are two types of output produced also. One, which is a grain which required a dry with a moisture of maybe maximum of 18 to 20%. Most of the grain is, it is recommended that 12% of moisture is always better than higher or lower moisture. What I'm saying, the green means all fresh vegetables, fruit, berries, and all, which is directly consumed by the consumer, the customer. धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे जरूरतें बढ़ेंगी, जिस तरीके से the kind of a society is evolving, gradually a new segment, very crucial, important segment is emerging, which is known as urban farming. And urban farming is majorly, means 99% of the crops are the greens. They're not producing, the system is not meant for growing all the grains. So this emerging urban farming is having all those features, which is a kind of any manufacturing plant factory is having. If we talk about this is having AI, means artificial intelligence for using as an automation. We have a kind of a system where we are putting at a one side a seedling and the other side we are getting the ready plants. And we are efficiently utilizing our resources whether it is an input. अगर देखें तो इसमें the most important and crucial factor is the water, which is being efficiently utilized. Same 1 kg of any produce which required maybe 1,000 liters of a water, but here it is going to be producing in maximum of a 10 to 20% of what the traditional farming is looking for. So one is water. Second resource is a kind of nutrition, the fertilizer. That also is 100% efficiency because there is no loss. If you see in soil, there is means the soil is acting as a buffering agent, or indirectly we can say it is a kind of playing a role of a mother. How? So, what is the role of mother? Majorly, the role of mother is such that in any kind of a adverse condition, in any kind of a adverse event, the mother is always there to save their kids, their sibling, means the son or daughter. Whatever is beyond the capacity of mother is going to impact the kids. Similarly, in soil, if any grower is doing any kind of a mistake or कोई भी गलती करता है, the soil is there to act as a buffering agent till the time soil can absorb those shocks. अब वो शॉक्स क्या हो सकते हैं? मे बी आपने फर्टिलाइजर ज्यादा डाल दिया, मे बी आपने इन इन हाईटेक अर्बन फार्मिंग में ईसीपीएच में कोई गड़बड़ हो गई, मे बी आपने ट्रेडिशनल फार्मिंग में इरिगेशन कर दिया, टाइम से फर्टिलाइजर नहीं डाला, ज्यादा आपका सनलाइट या समथिंग ड्राई हो गया. सो ऑल दीज इम्पैक्ट्स तभी प्लांट के ऊपर दिखता है जब वो सॉइल की कैपेसिटी के बियॉन्ड जाता है. सिमिलरली इन केस ऑफ अर्बन फार्मिंग व्हाट इज हैपनिंग एज अ ग्रोवर, यू have to play a role of mother, father, and anyone who can take care of that. So as I said, urban farming is a kind of a technique which can give you 100% control and very quick result. So as a grower, अगर आपने कोई भी change उस growing system में किया या operation में किया, उसका result पौधा खुद बताएगा within 24 days, and maximum is 72 hours. You are going to see कि क्या आपने गलत किया है. So having said that, urban farming is a kind of a farming where you need not to put the kind of a effort, hard work, a kind of a grower is doing, but without putting that much of effort, you can deliver what you're looking for. And that is known as a kind of a urban farming tool. अब अगर हम एक एक चीज की इसमें बात करते हैं, and another I'll just take another 10 to 15 minutes for just giving you a brief. After that, whatever the queries, so I'll name it as a query resolution session for the participants, so you are free to ask any question. Okay, so अब अगर हम अर्बन फार्मिंग की बात करते हैं तो अर्बन फार्मिंग में आपका हाइड्रोपोनिक्स भी आता है, आपका एक्वापोनिक्स भी आता है, आपका इवन काइंड ऑफ इंडोर फार्मिंग भी आता है, एंड देन एक आई एम जस्ट मिसिंग वन जिसमें आपका मिस्ट के साथ फार्मिंग की जाती है. दैट इज ऑल्सो अनदर वे ऑफ डूइंग द फार्म. सो बेसिकली अगर आप देखें तो हाइड्रोपोनिक्स में, हाइड्रोपोनिक्स और एरियोपोनिक्स और इवन aquaponics, yeah, aeroponics, you rightly said. Samsung, I don't know, the name is mobile name. Aeroponics is absolutely, and then aquaponics, where we are using the fish also. There is a two sets of a production, aquaculture and the farming. So let's try to understand the difference between hydroponics and then aquaponics and then aeroponics. So hydroponics is very simple कि आपको उसमें जो खेती करनी है आपका using only nutrient solution. So as it says, hydroponics में growing crop विदाउट सॉइल एंड इन न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन. सो पानी के साथ अगर क्रॉप कोई ग्रो कर रहे हैं, सो दैट इज नोन एज अ हाइड्रोपोनिक्स. अब हाइड्रोपोनिक्स में भी डिफरेंट तरीके के हाइड्रोपोनिक्स होता है. वन होता है जिसमें कि केवल आप पानी के न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन के उससे यूज करके आप क्रॉप को ग्रो करते हैं. दैट इज नोन एज एनएफटी, न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म टेक्निक, जिसमें कि आपका ग्रोथ चैनल होता है. उस ग्रोथ चैनल में एक न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म टेक्निक मींस आपका एक बहुत थिन लेयर ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट वाटर का आपके चैनल में जाता रहता है एंड रूट्स आर सस्पेंडेड देयर, और वो उसी में आपका न्यूट्रिशन लेते रहते हैं. दूसरा जो मेथड होता है वो होता है डीप वाटर कल्चर, जिसमें जो आपका न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन होता है उसका वॉल्यूम बहुत ज्यादा होता है. दैट इज समथिंग लाइक ऑफ 12 इंचेस ऑफ ग्रो चैम्बर के अंदर आपका पानी मूव करता रहता है, एंड दैट इज नोन एज अ डीप वाटर कल्चर, एज नेम सजेस्टिंग दैट द डेप्थ ऑफ वाटर इज मच हायर देन अ न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म. The third method is soilless hydroponics, जिसमें कि आप कोई ग्रोइंग मीडिया का सबस्ट्रेट यूज करते हैं. ठीक है. सो पहला हो गया न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म, जिसमें कि एक थिन लेयर ऑफ वाटर जाता है. दूसरा है डीप वाटर. थर्ड है आपका सॉइललेस फार्मिंग, जिसमें कि सबस्ट्रेट यूज करते हैं. अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि भाई ये तीन चार आप जो सिस्टम बता रहे हैं इसको कैसे हम किस क्रॉप में कौन सा सिस्टम, किस जगह पे कौन सा सिस्टम यूज हो सकता है. दैट इज द क्वेश्चन विच एवरीबॉडी इज लुकिंग फॉर आंसर. सो अगर मैं बात करता हूं न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म टेक्निक की, क्योंकि दो आपके केवल न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन से हैं और एक आपका जो है सॉइललेस फार्मिंग है जिसमें कि सबस्ट्रेट यूज होता है. तो अगर मैं इन दोनों की बात करूं कि न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म टेक्निक जिसमें कि सॉल्यूशन है, और दूसरा अगेन जो आपका क्या कहते हैं, चलो क्वेश्चंस आई विल टेक इट लेटर ऑन. दूसरा जो डीप वाटर कल्चर होता है इसमें केवल वॉल्यूम ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन का ही डिफरेंस होता है, और nutrient film technique NFT is optimal for the areas जहां पे एक्सट्रीम ऑफ वेदर नहीं है. यूनिफॉर्म टेम्परेचर अगर है साल भर तक, तो ऐसी जगह पे आपको एनएफटी इज गोइंग टू गिव यू द बेस्ट रिजल्ट. हाउएवर एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि साहब दिल्ली में भी इट्स एक्सट्रीम ऑफ वेदर है बट फिर भी एनएफटी यूज करते हैं. that I'll respond after explaining both deep water culture and soil list. So deep water culture ऐसी जगह पे होगा जहां पे वेदर आपका एक्सट्रीम वेदर ऑफ अ टेम्परेचर एंड इवन लोअर एज वेल एज अ हायर, बहुत गर्मी भी होती है बहुत ठंडी भी होती है, ऐसी जगह पे डीप वाटर कल्चर इज ऑलवेज वर्किंग. ठीक है. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर पानी का वॉल्यूम ज्यादा है, इफ द वॉल्यूम ऑफ वाटर इज हायर, then the impact of temperature on the root zone is always is going to take a little longer time. So NFT and deep water culture based on the climatic condition, uniform climate, go for NFT. And then if the extreme weathers are there, very high, very low temperature, then opt for a deep water culture. अब एक जो सवाल का बात हुआ था कि क्यों हम इसको एनएफटी को हम एक्सट्रीम वाले वेदर में भी करते हैं, क्यों? क्योंकि जो डीप वाटर कल्चर है, algae is creating a kind of a trouble for every grower, and it competes for a nutrition plus oxygen plus other common resources. So just to avoid that, एनएफटी विथ अ काइंड ऑफ अ कूलिंग ऑप्शन और पानी को ठंडा करने का चिलर के ऑप्शन के साथ वी कैन ऑप्ट फॉर एनएफटी, बिकॉज उसमें फिर आपका जो एल्गी का प्रॉब्लम होता है वो उतना सीवियर नहीं होता है. अब थर्ड सिस्टम की जो बात कर रहे थे, जिसमें कि हमने बात की कि सॉइल लेस हाइड्रोपोनिक, जिसमें कि हम सबस्ट्रेट यूज कर सकते हैं. सो कोकोपीट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट कॉमनली यूज्ड सबस्ट्रेट. और अब इन तीनों को कैसे आप क्रॉप वाइज सेलेक्ट करेंगे, उसमें एक बेसिक क्राइटेरिया ये होता है कि इफ यू आर गोइंग फॉर एनी काइंड ऑफ अ शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन क्रॉप, it's always advisable to go for न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म टेक्निक, जिसमें कि आप पूरा प्लांट हार्वेस्ट करते हो. सो मेजरली ऑल लीफी क्रॉप्स आर fit for NFT as well as even DWC also. बट DWC में अगर आप कुछ ऑक्सीजन इन्फ्यूज करके उसके अंदर आप वाइन क्रॉप को, जो लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन क्रॉप आप ग्रो करना चाहते हैं, so there is a possibility you can, however you have to replenish the dissolved oxygen content. The third system जो soilless hydroponics है, that is one of the best system जहां पे कि आप long duration wine crops को grow कर सकते हैं. To take a name, tomato, capsicum, cucumber, chili, and even the strawberry, that also perform better under soilless hydroponics. So अगली बात आती है कि सब हाइड्रोपोनिक्स तो चलो एक ये है, और एक अभी यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा और हाइड्रोपोनिक्स पे एक चर्चा करते हैं कि व्हाट इज हाइड्रोपोनिक्स. So general definition, growing crop without soil is hydroponics. However, it is beyond that. So let's try to understand what is hydroponics. Hydroponics, agar aapko samajhna hai, so there any plant is having two parts. One is the root and the another is shoot. So root is a supply source. I'm trying, however, it is English. So I'll try to restrict myself for English, but in between I'll use a little in Hindi also. So in hydroponics or any crop, the plant is having two parts. One is the supply source, which is the root. Okay. And the second part is the kind of converting those supply into a food. So that is a shoot. So अब question ये आता है कि whether this hydroponics is associated with the root part of a plant or a shoot part of a plant. Can anyone respond on this question? कोई बताएगा? I'll request the moderator to allow if somebody is raising a hand. So again, root and shoot. The question is whether hydroponics is associated with the root or with shoot. Anyone from the participants? You have to raise your hand. Oh, interesting. No one is. Oh, I'll ask a moderator to just allow two of the guys, Anjali and Kirthana. Allow them to speak.
Anjali, kind.
Anjali, you can kindly unmute yourself.
Root.
Okay, the root, but how? Anjali, how? Can you just something like a little bit go in detail that how it is related to root only? Anjali, can you, or shall I proceed?
Kirtana, you can also unmute yourself.
They absorb on water.
Okay, okay, fair enough. You both are absolutely right, and not only because of it is absorbing nutrient from root. It's as I mentioned that it is a supply source. Root is a supply source, and shoot is a something like processing those supply and converting into food or further growth. Hydroponics is only restricted to the root, and as a grower, it enables them to create an ideal microclimate around the root zone. अब आइडियल माइक्रोक्लाइमेट क्या होता है? Ideal microclimate means optimal nutrition, optimal moisture, optimal kind of a temperature, and free from any kind of and even the warmth. So if we manage to achieve these optimal condition in and around root zone, the plant supply source is going to be stronger, and because of that, the shoot efficiency is going to be optimal or the best. So if we redefine, because hydroponic जो हम लोगों ने define किया is growing crop without means growing crop without soil or growing crop with water is hydroponics, but the real technical definition is different. To create a hydroponic is a technique to create an ideal microclimate around the root zone. So what is this? This is the technique, this is the tool to create an ideal microclimate, and that too is only those microclimate around the root zone which are known. And वो problem आपकी जब soil में जाते हैं, because soil is a living dynamic body, and because it is a dynamic, every second there is a change, and to get hold of that, it required a really a high degree of a skill, and that's how soil में जो नहीं कर पाते हैं, hydroponic is giving you an opportunity to have 100% control on your growing. So that's is about hydroponics, and then let's go for aquaponics. So again, the moment we are just moving from hydroponics to aquaponics, the grower's life is becoming a little more complicated. How? Because it is a kind of a system where two living things are being grown or in a one system. So fish or aquaculture is happening in one of the tank where the fishes are grown, and whatever the excreta is coming out of the fish is being fed to the crop in that hydroponic system. So whenever we are going for aquaculture, so majorly aquaculture is focusing on the NFT or DWC, but it is not, I cannot say, or you cannot say that it cannot be used for a soilless hydroponic. Any kind of a hydroponic growing system can be associated with the fish farming, and that excreta is being utilized by the plant, and that is further contributing for efficient utilization of the nutrients. But यहाँ पे थोड़ा एक challenge is that feeding your fishes and optimizing the nutritional requirement of your crop in hydroponics is a challenge. It required a little higher degree of calibration. Whatever is coming from the aquaponics or aquaculture need to be minus from our fertilizer recipe, because in hydroponics the fertilizer recipe is acting as a heart. So if the heart is doing its work in efficient way, then definitely your crop is going to be happy. If not, then it is really difficult. So aquaponics is a kind of a gelling between a fish farming and the crop production. The only challenge is at every moment or every time you need to calibrate whatever is being means fed by the aquaculture in terms of a nutrition, crop nutrition, that you need to adjust with your fertilizer recipe. And fertilizer in any hydroponics or any growing system is the heart. The third one is the aeroponics. As the name saying, there is something, hawa is air, is is there in aeroponics. So aeroponic system is a further advancement of our hydroponic system where the nutrient solution is fed to the root zone in a mist farm. So there are misters, different types of misters, uh, and the roots are hanging in a kind of a chamber, and this mist is being blown in that chamber at a cyclic interval. Efficiency wise, this system is efficient than your hydroponics. However, this requires a very sophisticated kind of a system plus assured power supply, because in hydroponics, agar if there is any power breakdown, the water is at least moving, and for a 1 hour or 2 hours it is not going to be that negative impact. However, in aeroponics, if the power failure for 1 hour, it's mean the roots are going to dry and there will be no misting and the plant is going to suffer. So altogether, the purpose of this whole system of efficient utilization of resources is not met. Though it is an efficient one, it required a higher degree of a skill, and that's how it is always advisable to start from the easy or low hanging kind of fruit. So whoever is want to venture in this urban farming techniques, start from soilless hydroponics, followed by maybe a kind of a NFT or DWC. And once you are able to what I should say, very simple way, start talking to your plant. Means talking not means a literal talking. Means आपको पौधे में क्या changes हो रहे हैं आपके operation से समझ में आने लगे, तो then you can just opt for other two more sophisticated and high skill set required kind of technologies. So ये तो basically हम we can say that it is a part of urban farming. There is different types of a growing system. uh, One more thing now going forward, because I just something like seen there is a some tagline, AgriVision 2050, 2050 may how our Indian agriculture or agriculture is going to shape. So I don't have any doubt to say that for all your fresh produce, means which is going to be consumed as a raw or partially cooked with a very high moisture fruit or vegetables. Hyperlocal production means production within a periphery of maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers, where a consumer can get their produce within a stipulated time. Just say today we are talking about 10-minute delivery. So can we do some intervention where we can say that 2 hours delivery from the point of harvest to your doorstep? So that is going to help you a lot in case of keeping intact the nutrition of that plant. And high-tech urban farming is providing you an option for growing crop without using excessive chemical. So if we see down the line 2050, hyperlocal production with a kind of very precise kind of farming technique is the way forward for meeting the requirement of consumer. And the one good part is, believe me, the traditional farming and this urban farming, they are complementing to each other, because still the traditional farming, the farming with soil, is focusing on a grain production, and urban farming is reducing the load for all those fresh production. And that is going to be the future where everyone is going to count on the nutrition. So अभी तक हम बात करते थे प्रोड्यूस की. Now down the line, by 2050, people are going to talk on nutritional security. And nutritional security means if anyone is going to buy your one of the capsicum, he want to have that capsicum with this nutritive value. So that's the kind of a scenario is going to be down the line 2000. So yes, it is a kind of a futuristic technique. It is using all the high tech to reduce your effort. However, it required a kind of a skill where you can even see how your plants are behaving, whether they are happy or not with your operation. So, with those words, I would ask any of the participants who is having any doubt on this kind of a technique, technology, or any kind of a question. Let's start discussion on that. So, those who is looking for satisfying their query, they can raise their hand. Neha is going to allow one by one to take up those questions. Yeah. Meantime, there was some question in my chat box. Let me take that. Hydroponically grown. Okay. Rajeshwar has asked one question. I would prefer even not to type if someone can raise their hand and start asking their queries. So let's resolve one by one. So Rajeshwar is asking, is there any difference between nutrition and immunity concern with hydroponically grown on field in natural condition grown fodder or grain? That's interesting, Rajeshwar. Maybe if you are there, you can just unmute yourself and switch on your camera if possible. Otherwise, I'll just definitely respond on that. See, this question, when I started my this hydroponic career, were one of the most crucial one which were bothering me. Why? The background of this is sometime what is going to happen. People are really concerned. Why so? Because in soil, though the essential nutrients are only those 18s, okay? However, people are asking in soil, there is many more nutrients. Some of them are saying that is a 56 nutrients are present in soil, and those produced coming out of that soil, they have a liberty to absorb those nutrients, and that's how they are rich in nutrition, and it is going to contribute for a consumer's immunity system. However, Rajeshwar, the story is other way around. Why so? In hydroponic, what you are in urban farming, what as a grower you are contributing for giving a safe food is, in any kind of a hydroponic growing system, the crops are almost, you can say that the risk of contamination via soil, via water, via air is almost negligible. And agar aap dekho, if you see, like, these are the major source of contamination of agri produce. So the soil, if it is having a residue of any chemical, the plants is bound to absorb. If it is having a heavy metal, the plants, they don't have that much of a filtration that they are going to absorb that. If there is any kind of a nutrient deficiency in soil, that will come in your food chain. It is going to impact your produce. However, in whenever you are doing any kind of a hydroponic or a high-tech urban farming, you know that what you are feeding to your crop. Again, if you see the criteria of essentiality of a plant nutrition, only 18 nutrients are contributing for your crop. And you as a grower is providing the optimal dose of these nutrition. So balanced nutrition is one of the key for giving you the quality produce. It is not that urea galat hai, ya urea is a harmful. It is how balanced nutrient application a grower is taking care. I don't know whether you know or not. यूरिया एक ऐसा ऑर्गेनिक फर्टिलाइजर है जिसमें कि कोई रॉ मटेरियल नहीं यूज हुआ है. देयर इज ओनली नाइट्रोजन, एटमॉस्फेरिक नाइट्रोजन and the natural gas. They both react each other in a controlled condition, and that's how the urea is produced. And it is not the use of urea, it is the imbalanced use of a nutrition is the challenge. And in hydroponic growing system, a grower need to follow those balanced nutrition. The fertilizer recipe, the heart of the whole growing system, is the most important thing. So basic criteria here कि grower will have to use the best balanced recipe. So it is not going to impact in any way negatively in terms of nutrition in your crop produce or to your immunity system. I would like to share my experience. I've done this spinach lab analysis long back when I started the hydroponic career, and you will be surprised that the hydroponic produce was even superior than your organic farming produce. And that report is not mine; it's a lab report. So this is one question, maybe Rustam Roy, maybe you can speak out that what you are looking for as a query.
Mr. Rustam, you can unmute yourself.
Rustam, can you hear me? You have to unmute yourself and then speak your query. Anyway, so anyone else have any query? Because the best part is I would love to satisfy or resolve your queries instead of giving you a lecture. Otherwise, I will be forced to just again start some fresh topic. Rustam, can you hear me? It looks like not. So one, Rustam has said air agriculture should done. It is the one on terrace. Okay. मैं थोड़ा सा इसको रुस्तम समझ के जो बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं कि एरियोपोनिक्स, आपका जो सवाल मुझे समझ में आया है कि क्या एरियोपोनिक्स को हम छत पे कर सकते हैं या हाइड्रोपोनिक को छत पे कर सकते हैं या इवन एक्वापोनिक्स को छत पे कर सकते हैं. तो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड जो इसका आंसर है, यस, यू कैन डू ऑल दीज थिंग्स एंड दैट्स हाउ. अगर आप देखो, मैंने हाइपर लोकल प्रोडक्शन की बात की. इवन अगर आपकी बालकनी में आप प्रोड्यूस करते हो, नॉट मच, ओनली इफ यू कैन अलॉट अ काइंड ऑफ 1 मीटर स्क्वायर एरिया या 2 मीटर स्क्वायर एरिया, दो इट इज अ वेरी कॉस्टली काइंड ऑफ फ्लोर. जब कहीं पे भी आप अपना घर खरीदते हो तो आज 12, 18, 6 से लेके 25,000 रुपए स्क्वायर फीट का लैंड है, सॉरी फ्लोर है. सो यस, यू कैन डू इट, बट the best part would be if you will be able to get part of your salad crop from your balcony, right from your residence, घर से ही निकलता है. Maybe cucumber, 2 or 3 plants of cucumber can meet them because all these high yielding varieties are there. So 2 or 3 cucumber plant will meet your daily cucumber requirement of 2 to 3 cucumber per day. If you are looking for a kind of a 20, 30 plants of a leafy vegetable, you can include that into your salad. So that's the way. अगर आप अपने घर के किसी एक छोटी सी जगह को यूटिलाइज करना चाहें, तो दिस इज अ टेक्निक बाय विच अर्बन फार्मिंग की डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स हैं, जिससे कि आप अपने फ्लैट में भी, अपने रेजिडेंस पे खुद से you can grow your own consumption crop and feel like, oh, this is grown in my balcony, and I'm pretty sure that this is not having any kind of a harmful pesticide. So next question of Rutsam is there a special seed used or composite seed? See, seed is definitely the seeds which are hybrid or high-tech kind of a high-yielding varieties. They are recommended because once you are going for a kind of high-tech growing system, जहाँ पे कि आप पैसे लगा रहे हैं, so OP varieties are not that advisable, because considering the kind of effort versus the production, it is a challenge. However, I'm not at all saying कि आप ट्रेडिशनल varieties या ओपी varieties को इस सिस्टम में यूज नहीं कर सकते. But yes, always high yielding varieties, hybrids are recommended in this kind of a growing system. और एक बड़ा खुलासा करते हैं कि these all urban farming is not the rocket science. एक सिंपल कोई आदमी जो कि अपने मींस अपना जो एक पैशन होता है टुवर्ड्स प्लांट, उसको समझ के खुद से करने की कोशिश करेगा, प्लांट उसको खुद सिखाता जाएगा, एंड ग्रेजुअली यू कैन डिलीवर व्हाट यू आर लुकिंग फॉर. एंड बिलीव मी, इस तरीके का जो फ्रेश प्रोड्यूस आता है आपके बैकयार्ड से, दैट विल गिव यू अ लॉट ऑफ सेटिस्फेक्शन. एंड इन आजकल की हाई राइज सोसाइटीज में, वेयर वी हैव अ मैक्सिमम पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ 3 जनरेशन, कि भाई एक होगा मम्मी पापा होंगे, द एल्डरली वन इज गोइंग टू बी योर you yourself, which is a professional who is working for the any kind of a high tech or any system, and third is the kids. They all three are going to get benefit. How? One, as a professional, you are going to get a clean food. As a elderly, mummy papa hamare, they will get a kind of a quality engagement. Aaj unko, the problem is that they are struggling to get that engagement. And the kids, they will at least learn कि टमाटर पेड़ में फलता है या जमीन के नीचे फलता है या कैसे फलता है या गेहूं की बाली कैसी होती है. All those things, they will create that kind of a passion and interest. So all three generations are going to get benefit. Yeah, Ananya. I think you need to unmute yourself, and moderator Neha need to just allow you to unmute. Neha, could you please unmute Ananya?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Ananya.
Yeah, actually, sir, my question is actually I'm keen interested in agribusiness,
Mm-hmm.
and and I want to step into agribusiness through cultivation,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm planning to enter into this through hydroponics. As in hydroponics, the produce is produced fastly, and also it is the urban farming and the recent method.
Mm-hmm.
सो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आफ्टर दिस वर्चुअल ट्रेनिंग जो ये चल रही है हमारी, आई वांट टू गेट प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज और आई वांट टू लर्न हाइड्रोपोनिक्स प्रैक्टिकली. तो मैं हाइड्रोपोनिक्स की ट्रेनिंग कहाँ से ले सकती हूँ?
अनन्या, ट्रेनिंग के बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट हैं, बहुत सारे लोग हैं ट्रेन करने के लिए. यू कैन जस्ट गूगल आउट, यू विल गेट अ गुड नंबर ऑफ पर्सन्स. ओके, so they are doing their part of contribution for this sector. However, what I would suggest, get 4 kind of a bags, or even आज you looks like something like a Gen Z kind of a category, थोड़े young वाले. So maybe कुछ भी नहीं मिलता है ना, अपने 2-3 जीन्स के जो पैंट है ना, उनको फाड़ के नीचे से वो बना लो ग्रो बैग.
ओके,
ठीक है. And
ठीक है.
fill that with a coco peat which is of a low EC. Okay, and
ओके,
put some saplings. ठीक है. and try to see the behavior. And बहुत सिंपल सा सिस्टम बनाना है, need not to go anywhere. And the moment you will start kind of experimenting by yourself, वो जो लर्निंग होगी वो कहीं आपको ट्रेनिंग
Okay.
2 दिन 4 दिन 5 दिन में ट्रेनिंग से नहीं मिल पाएगी. And
मतलब
if
घर
you,
पे ही,
yeah, go ahead.
मतलब सर घर पे ही करके देखना है कि किस तरह से होता है और प्लांट कैसे बिहेव करते हैं हमारे, जो भी हम उनको सप्लाई कर रहे हैं.
Absolutely.
ठीक है. ओके सर, आई ट्राई माय बेस्ट टू डू दिस.
Yes, in case you need any kind of help or a support from my side, I'll be always happy to support you, because I am running one of this hydroponic club, that is a post shala, a
ओके.
post tech sala with one of school in Delhi, Ryan International School. So there, what we are trying to do that, yes, it's learn by yourself. It is not a rocket science. कुछ नहीं मिलता पॉकेट में करो, उसमें भी नहीं मिलता. इवन जो बैग्स होते हैं घर के, उसमें कोकोपीट भर के ले आओ. बट यस, 2-4 चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है जो कि आपको ध्यान में रखना होगा. वन, जो कोकोपीट है, majorly that is coming from the coastal areas, so uske uska salt concentration बहुत ज्यादा होता है. So getting a low EC cocopeat is a kind of a real skill you need to learn. If at all you're getting that, it is good. If not, then you have to bring down the salt concentration by treating that to using calcium nitrate.
ओके.
Okay, so maybe you can
ओके
get
सर.
my contact from Neha, and whenever you can ping me on my WhatsApp, I'll definitely respond. Maybe a little late, but definitely respond.
या
But
एब्सोल्युटली सर.
I'll be happy to at least take you to a level where you can say that my chilies are now blooming or fruiting.
या एक्चुअली सर, आई एम रियली इंटरेस्टेड, और उसको सोच के तो मेरे को बहुत खुशी होती है.
Definitely,
रियली.
you try. I'm there.
Yeah. And I have also subscribed your YouTube channel.
Oh,
I
lot
just
lot of
Google your
information.
name and WhatsApp group as well. I have just sent the request on
That's good.
WhatsApp.
So you got the source, and let's in a next training or a next meeting, you can say that, oh, my tomatoes are giving me some fruit.
Yeah,
That's
hoping
great.
for the
That's great.
best.
Yeah, that's, you have to. There is nothing like a rocket science. It's a very simple. पौधे को देख के बस वो आपको बताता जाएगा और आप उसके साथ हाथ पकड़ के चलते जाओ. अगर कुछ किसी दिन गड़बड़ करोगे, बहुत ज्यादा क्या होगा, 1 or 2 seedlings are going to die. That much contribute means compromise you can avail for learning a technique. Okay,
हाँ जी.
that's great, Ananya.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
pleasure all mine. I would love to hear from anyone else who is looking for any query resolution. Subham, Nia, could you allow him to speak?
Yes, sir, he is allowed.
Yes, Subham, बताइए.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ji.
Sir, I am BSc student, basic agriculture.
Mhm.
Sir, I ask you, how can produce in a
शुभम, हिंदी में बोल लो यार, हम लोग हिंदी वासी हैं, हिंदी में बोल लो, कोई बात नहीं, चलो.
सर हम घर पे कैसे वो कोकोपीट बना सकते हैं सर?
कोकोपीट बनाने के बजाय कोकोपीट आप कैसे बनाओगे? या तो आप डेली जो कोकोपीट नारियल का पानी पियो और उसके बाद जो उसके ऊपर का सेल निकले उसको ड्राई करके पूरा प्रोसेस करो. एक तो वो ऑप्शन है. एंड इट्स रियली रियली अ गुड क्वेश्चन व्हिच इज समथिंग लाइक अ जनरली अ मेजर चैलेंज. सी, whenever you are going for a soilless hydroponics, so you need to identify locally available substrate. अब कैसे आप सबस्ट्रेट को पहचानोगे? ऐसा नहीं कि केवल कोकोपीट में ही ग्रो कर सकते हो. आपको वो लोकली अवेलेबल सबस्ट्रेट का जब तक पता नहीं होगा, 2 4 6 जो भी आपकी बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट है, तब तक आप नहीं बना पाओगे. अब अगर आप देखो कि ग्रोइंग मीडिया या सबस्ट्रेट, उसका क्या बेसिक नेचर होना चाहिए. बेसिक नेचर ऐसा होना चाहिए कि कोई भी ऐसा मटेरियल विच इज डिफिकल्ट टू डाइजेस्ट, डाइजेस्ट मतलब कि अगर उसमें आप पानी डालते हो या माइक्रोब डालते हो, बहुत जल्दी से वो सड़ के खाद नहीं बन जाए, ऐसा इनर्ट मीडिया आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा। जैसे कोकोपीट क्यों अच्छा माध्यम है, बिकॉज कोकोपीट का जो भूरा होता है, दैट इज अ सॉर्ट ऑफ लिग्निन, थोड़ा टेक्निकल हो रहा है बट बी विथ मी। लिग्निन जो होता है इतना आसान नहीं होता है कि उसको डाइजेस्ट कर पाए माइक्रोब्स, एंड दैट्स हाउ कोकोपीट इज डूइंग गुड इन हाइड्रोपोनिक्स। सो सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ एनी स्टफ, एनी ग्रोइंग मीडिया, अगर मैं नाम लूं तो आपके आसपास में धान की भूसी होती है। शुभम आपने देखी है धान की भूसी?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
बहुत सारे कैरेक्टर धान की भूसी के भी वैसे ही हैं जो कि हाइड्रोपोनिक ग्रोइंग के सिस्टम में यूज किए जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये इनर्ट मीडिया है। इसमें जो है आप बहुत जल्दी, ये नहीं सड़ेगा। मे बी कोकोपीट अगर 4 साल चलता है तो ये 2 साल तो चली जाएगा। इसके अंदर किसी भी ग्रोइंग मीडिया के अंदर ये होना चाहिए कि वाटर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी होनी चाहिए। एंड तीसरा, किसी भी तरीके के इन्फेक्शियस माइक्रोब से फ्री होना चाहिए। तो मीन्स स्टरलाइज होना चाहिए, उसमें किसी तरीके का माइक्रोब नहीं होना चाहिए। अगर ये 3-4 क्राइटेरियाज हैं, और उसके ऊपर से द लास्ट एंड फाइनल, कि अगर कोई ऐसा ग्रोइंग मीडिया आपके आसपास में दिख रहा है जो कि आपके न्यूट्रिशन के उसमें कहीं दखलंदाजी नहीं करता है, मतलब जो आप न्यूट्रिशन सप्लाई कर रहे हैं थ्रू आवर ड्रिप इरिगेशन और थ्रू आवर फर्टिगेशन सिस्टम, प्लांट वही न्यूट्रिएंट खाए, ठीक है? तो ऐसे मटेरियल में जैसे राइस हस्क हो गया, ठीक है, आपका यमुना सैंड विदाउट मिट्टी, मिट्टी नहीं होना चाहिए, यमुना सैंड इज ऑल्सो अ गुड मीडियम। और अगर आप उसके बियॉन्ड जाते हैं तो जो वुड वुड ऐश जो होता है आपका, जैसे जो लकड़ी का काम करते हैं, उसका जो लकड़ी का बुरादा होता है, दैट ऑल्सो बी अ गुड सोर्स। सो इसी तरीके के जो भी लोकली अवेलेबल ग्रोइंग मीडिया है, दैट कैन बी यूज्ड एज अ ग्रोइंग मीडिया इंस्टेड ऑफ अ शुभम। आप अगर कोकोपीट बनाने में लगेंगे तो इट इज अ रियली रियली डिफिकल्ट, लिटिल डिफिकल्ट टास्क। आई वुड नॉट से दैट इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, यस यू कैन डू दैट। आप जितने भी नारियल का जो सूखा वाला आता है उसको आप if you can just chop it, process it, dry it, make it and wash it with the calcium nitrate, और उसका जो सॉल्ट है, बिकॉज सॉल्ट में क्या होता है, सोडियम, नमक होता है। सोडियम इज डेट्रीमेंटल फॉर अ क्रॉप ग्रोथ। आपका चाहे जितना अच्छा कोकोपीट है, और अगर उसमें सोडियम सॉल्ट है, तो फिर कोई भी पौधा मे बी जर्मिनेट तो कर जाएगा, बट वो फिर आगे फ्लोरिश नहीं कर पाएगा। तो इसीलिए कैल्शियम एंड सोडियम की जो होती है आपस में बड़ी दुश्मनी है, ठीक है? सो वेन एवर यू आर ट्रीटिंग योर कोकोपीट विथ कैल्शियम नाइट्रेट और कैल्शियम, सो वो सोडियम को उस जगह से रिप्लेस कर देता है। और जब भी कभी वॉशिंग करा जाए आपके कोकोपीट की, आप जब वॉशिंग करते हैं तो ध्यान रखिएगा कि एक बार वॉशिंग करने के बाद पूरा पानी ड्रेन करना होता है। अदरवाइज जस्ट कोई भी ग्रोवर अगर हाइड्रोपोनिक में जाना चाह रहा है, तो अगर पीएच ईसी दोनों ज्यादा है, इसका मतलब आप सोच लो कि आप ऊसर मिट्टी में खेती करने जा रहे हो। ऊसर मिट्टी का भी यही करेक्टर होता है कि सोडियम, जो कैल्शियम एग्रीगेशन का, क्योंकि मिट्टी अगर देखोगे तो सैंड सिल्ट क्ले से बनी होती है, इन तीनों को बाइंड करके जो ऑर्गेनिक मैटर काम करता है, दैट इज नोन एज अ सॉइल। और अगर उसमें सोडियम आयन आ जाता है या सोडियम आ जाता है, तो इस एसोसिएशन को ब्रेक ब्रेक कर देता है। और अगर आप ऊसर मिट्टी को देखोगे तो वहां पे धूल उड़ती रहती है, पाउडरिस हो जाता है। तो अगर आप अपनी कोकोपीट बना रहे हो या कोई कोकोपीट बाजार से ले आके हाइड्रोपोनिक सबस्ट्रेट फार्मिंग करना चाह रहा है, सो डेफिनेटली यू नीड टू ऑप्ट फॉर कि भाई कुछ लोग जो है लो ईसी का कोकोपीट देते हैं, जिसमें कि फर्दर आपको चेक करना होगा कि मेरा ईसी जो है 0.3 0.4 से कम होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज दैट इज नॉट द राइट ग्रोइंग मीडिया। और एनी काइंड ऑफ अ ग्रोइंग मीडिया, जितने अभी हम लोगों ने नाम लिए, क्योंकि यमुना सैंड या कोई सैंड जिसमें कि मिट्टी नहीं है या कोई इम्प्योरिटी नहीं है, दैट इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू बी अ गुड मीडिया फॉर ग्रोइंग. ठीक है शुभम?
Yes, sir. Thank you. ये सब अगर उतर गई.
Vikas. So Neha, if you allow Vikas, and do let me know once my allotted slot of time is over.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Vikas.
Sir, yes, there is a lot of benefits of hydroponic cultivation, like disease-free yield, no weeds, nutrition, time. But sir, my question is related to price.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of volatility in prices in market.
Mhm.
जब हम ट्रेडिशनल तरीके से भी ग्रो करते हैं, तब भी हमें प्रॉपर मतलब उतना कुछ प्रॉफिट मिल नहीं पाता.
Mhm.
तो
See,
सर,
बताओ
considering
पहले पूरा
that there
कंप्लीट
is
करो.
a little bit more cost in hydroponic system, तो वो एक सस्टेनेबल है या सर वो भी मतलब रिस्क फैक्टर में आता है मार्केट के जो प्राइसेस हैं वेजिटेबल के?
डेफिनेटली आपका जो ये वोलेटिलिटी है, ये एग्री प्रोड्यूस का एक पार्ट एंड पार्सल है. ठीक है. कोई भी चीज अगर कम पैसे में प्रोड्यूस हो रही है, तो बाजार में वो आपकी कम पैसे में अवेलेबल हो जाएगी. ठीक है. अब यू हैव टू चूज कि भाई मेरा जो प्रोड्यूस आ रहा है, व्हाट आर दोज एडवांटेजेस ऑफ दोज प्रोड्यूस. अगर आप बात करोगे कि अभी हम आपके लिए लेटेस प्रोड्यूस करके दे रहे हैं, या पालक प्रोड्यूस करके दे रहे हैं, या धनिया प्रोड्यूस करके दे रहे हैं, या इवन अभी एनी ऑफ द लीफी वेजिटेबल्स आप प्रोड्यूस करके दे रहे हैं ड्यूरिंग the kind of a cycle when it is easily available from a outdoor farming. So अभी वो सिनेरियो तो आया नहीं ना कि जिसमें कि आप कहते हो कि पूरी पूरी अर्बन फार्मिंग इज गोइंग टू बी अ हाइपर लोकल और सिटी और अर्बन एरिया के आसपास में होगी. सो जब तक ये चैलेंज आपको अगर compete करना पड़ेगा ट्रेडिशनल फार्मर से, तो ये चैलेंज स्टिल इज अ रियली a kind of what do I say, serious challenge for high-tech growing. However, आपको ये ध्यान देना पड़ेगा कि व्हाट आर दोज बेनिफिट्स यू आर ऑफरिंग टू योर कस्टमर. एंड जब कभी भी आप अपना सिस्टम या हाइड्रोपोनिक कमर्शियल वेंचर प्लान कर रहे हैं, सो सिलेक्शन ऑफ योर राइट क्रॉप एंड राइट टाइम इज द क्रूशियल गेम चेंजर. अगर आप वही करोगे कि जी आज ही हमने जिस समय नॉर्मली अवेलेबल है चीजें उसी समय प्रोड्यूस करोगे, तो somehow it is going to be a little challenge
Yes, sir.
down the line.
My
जैसे
next
कि
question is exactly that, sir. There is one more question, sir. Little, if you can you give me a
go
little
ahead,
bit
go
more
ahead.
time? Sir, is like off-season vegetable is a good option? जैसे कॉलीफ्लावर को हम अगस्त में प्रोवाइड कर दें, क्योंकि हाइड्रोपोनिक सिस्टम में हम थोड़ा मतलब टाइम से पहले क्लाइमेट से जैसे अकॉर्डिंग उससे थोड़ा पहले लेके आ सकते हैं मार्केट में सब्जियों को. तो ऑफ सीजन जो वेजिटेबल्स हैं सर, वो अच्छा ऑप्शन है कि उनके
कि
प्राइस ज्यादा मिलेंगे.
अब आप देखो ऑफ सीजन में भी आपका डिफरेंट लेवल होता है. जैसे आज की डेट में दिल्ली में अगर आप राउंड द ईयर स्ट्रॉबेरी प्रोड्यूस कर सक रहे हैं, सो देयर आर गुड नंबर ऑफ टेकर फॉर दैट. ठीक है. क्योंकि क्या होता है कि जब आप ऑफ सीजन, बट आपका जो कॉस्ट इफेक्टिवनेस है वो ये होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि आज के डेट में जस्ट ट्राई टू सी इमेजिन कि आज आप जो गोभी की बात करते हो, कॉलीफ्लावर की बात करते हो, आज जब हमारा सीजन होता है तो हम नॉर्थ में प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. उसके बाद आपकी मेजरली जो कॉलीफ्लावर आ रही है वो कहाँ से आती है? वो शिमला से आती है. शिमला के बाद इवन लाहौल स्पीति से आती है. इन एरिया से आप शिप करते हो जिसमें कि 90% मॉइस्चर होता है. You are generating a very very high level of carbon footprint. So if you can grow again innovation is required to optimize my cost, जो कि सपोज लाहौल स्पीति से जो गोभी आ रही है अप्रैल मई जून में, और इवन उसके बाद आपका जब एक रेनी से थोड़ा पहले वाला जो इधर राजस्थान से आती हैं, उसका क्या वो आप ट्रेवल टाइम की जो ट्रेवल की कॉस्ट है उसको ऑप्टिमाइज करके क्या हम प्रोड्यूस कर पाते हैं? अगर आंसर इज यस, देन दैट इज द राइट चॉइस. Okay?
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For your time. So there is one request to host. But please enable group chat. It's for host of webinar. Thank you.
Okay, Vikas, I will look forward to it.
Yes, I think Neha, you allotted me 5 till 5:10. Floor is yours, and even I'll be happy to take up any further queries. But yeah, as per your time availability. It looks like all the queries that are being satisfied. So over to Neha. Neha, you are there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I sincerely thank you for this informative and practice-oriented session. Your valuable insights into hydroponic farming and modern agriculture practices have added significant value to this conference. Your expertise and practical approach have greatly benefited the participants and will serve as a useful reference for future academic and professional endeavors. We are truly grateful for your time and meaningful contribution. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Neha, and thank you to all the participants for listening me for around an hour. I would be always willing and happy to share whatever the knowledge I have, and anybody can reach out to me for any further queries. So thank you very much.
Now we have our next guest, that is Dr. D. Kalaivanan. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes, you are audible.
Okay, sir. So it's my privilege to introduce our second guest today, Dr. D. Kalaivanan, who is currently serving as Senior Scientist in the Division of Natural Resources at ICAR, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, Bangalore. Dr. Kalaivanan is a distinguished soil scientist whose professional expertise covers sustainable soil management, organic farming, and advanced cultivation systems, with strong relevance to present day agriculture challenges. He began his professional career at the ICAR Directorate of Cashew Research, where he made important contributions by standardizing organic farming modules and developing irrigation scheduling protocols under high density planting systems. Over the years, his research has evolved toward innovative and resource efficient production technologies, particularly in the area of soilless cultivation and protected agriculture. He has made significant contributions to the development of soilless production technologies for a wide range of horticulture and vegetable crops, catering to urban, peri-urban, and commercial scale farming. His work includes the development of a liquid nutrient formulation for soilless cultivation and collaboration on ARCA vertical garden structures for urban and terrace gardening. Several of his technologies have been successfully licensed, reflecting their strong field applicability and entrepreneurship potential. In addition to his research contribution, Dr. Kalaivanan is a recognized postgraduate teacher, research guide, and mentor actively involved in capacity building, academic training, and technology dissemination. His excellence in research, teaching, and outreach has been acknowledged through several prestigious national awards and recognitions, along with an impressive record of scientific publications. We are honored to have Dr. D. Kalaivanan with us today and look forward to his valuable insight and professional perspectives. Thank you so much.
Will I start, madam?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Yeah, whether the screen is visible, madam, there?
Yes, sir, the screen is visible.
Is it moving?
Yes, sir, it is moving.
Okay. So first, I would like to thank you, the organizers and the madam who introduced me in a brief manner. So really, it is a great opportunity to deliver a talk on a new technology. I can say it is a kind of new technology. So that way, once again, I thank the organizers for providing me the opportunity, and that too with the wide number of and wide range of participants from all over India. So that way, it is a great platform, I can say, because I feel it is the first time that so many participants in online attending a seminar. I mean that 21 days training. So it is a great thing that is happening in the country. So with that, I start my talk that is on the title of today talk that is cocoponics. I think a previous speaker, he spoke much about the hydroponics and other things. And this is again yeah, another version of soilless cultivation. So that is why it is again a different kind of methodology when compared to the hydroponics. So what I feel, it is a kind of next generation cocoa peat based soilless farming technology. And that is already picking up, and it is going to take a better position in coming days. And now it is mainly focused in the urban and peri-urban areas. It is moving to even the hilly regions as well as to the other the towns, and then even wherever the good cities like tier 1 and tier 2. So that it is happening. So that is in brief about the topic. And many of us, we think that this is a kind of new technology. You all know very well what is soilless culture. So it is a method of growing plants without soil. In a simple way, without soil, when we grow plants in media or in water or in air, so that we can call it as a soilless cultivation. And we think that this is a modern day practice. But if you see in the history, and you can see in this particular slide, the Hanging Garden of Babylon. This is one of the classical example, I can say, for soilless cultivation. And that too, it happened in around 600 BC. Now almost we are in 2026. So that way it is one of the classical example for the soilless cultivation. And later on, the scientists from Germany, the two botanists, Sachs and Knopp, so their discovery in mid of 19th century has resulted in development of the technique of soilless cultivation. So initially what they did, they used this technology mainly for research purpose, to know the importance of nutrients on plant growth and plant physiology and on plant development and this. So that way, so they have used this technology, hydroponics or soilless cultivation, to know the importance of each and every element on the growth and on the physiology. That way they have started, but later on slowly this particular technology moved into commercial angle. So people started adopting this technology for even commercial scale cultivation. So that way soilless cultivation has a long history, starting from the ancient civilization. You see here, this is the kind of again another fantastic civilization from the North American continent. So this civilization, Aztec civilization, they have survived very well in 15th century. and they have constructed a beautiful floating garden on the lake. This is a kind of lake. This name of this lake is Texcoco. So that way they have constructed a floating garden of an area of half an acre to 1 acre. So in that garden, floating garden, they have cultivated several so the food crops as well as the horticulture crops. So that way they have grown and they have harvested and they survived what they have harvested from the floating garden. So this is how the people of Aztec they have done in the past. And at that time, you see no engineering or science and other things. And that way, people when they are in need, they have look for alternatives. So that way, these people tried and found the best alternative, and that way they have done it. So now in the present era, everything is available in our hand. So technology is not a death. So that way we can do even more wonder than these people. And again in World War II, so the US Army and the UK Royal Army, so both of them they have joined together and they have constructed a hydroponic garden, and with that garden they have grown the vegetables, mainly the cucumber, the lettuce and other things, and that too in the island, that is Asinsen Island in World War II, that period. So that way, these people again, the army of both the countries, they have done it, and that way this particular technology used even during World War II, and this is now how we do it in the modern day cultivation. And so in the ancient civilization, then in the during World War, and now in the present period. So this is the again high-tech aquaponics, and you see the beautiful growth of the tomato and the with the fruits, and that too in a small grow bag with the substrate of 4 to 5 kg. You can't imagine this kind of growth even in the field. So that way, so you can see it and you can believe it, and you can definitely by getting all the required knowledge and experience and skill, you can do it here. So that there is no need to worry about the adaptation of this particular technology. And you see the growth of the wonderful tomato. On the top, it is our own hybrid from IH, the Darkarakshak. In the bottom, this is again another imported variety, heirloom tomato. So another again, the interesting crop, what we can do it in aquaponics. So that is cucumber. So you see the beautiful growth of the cucumber, English cucumber, in a grow bag. You see in each grow bag, in the bottom alone, you can find 5 to 6 fruits, and beautiful fruits with marketable size and quality, and that even you cannot imagine in soil-based cultivations. So that way you see that it is not only in one grow bag. In every grow bag, you can see the beautiful the settings of cucumber, English cucumber. So that way, this technology is now spread into modern day farming, and people started adopting this even in India, places like in Bangalore, in Chennai and Pune, Mumbai, and even the national capital regions. And so it is spreading slowly to other parts of this country. So that way, it is doing well. And even when I started research on these aspects, people started questioning whether it is possible to adopt it, whether who will take it, and who is the going to adopt it or take it. But now I am sure that with the great confidence I can say it is very much possible, and it can be adopted both our the terrace level or rooftop level or even at commercial scale in polygons. So that way it is now very much possible. Sorry. So with this brief history of soilless cultivation, now the next question, why soilless culture is required? So many of you can ask, even in the previous lecture, I could not attend fully, but I joined at the end. But why soilless culture is required? The problem today, what we are facing, whether it is a farmer or whether it is a researcher or whether it is a high-tech growers, so you ask anyone, they will tell the number of problems. The foremost problem is you can even classify the group of problems what we are facing currently. One is soil-based problems, another one is water-based problems, and another one is the land-related problems. So in that, the soil-based problem is a very, very important one. And in that, the foremost one is the soil-borne pests and diseases. And all of you agree with me because that is a serious problem, and farmers are struggling to manage the pest and disease in the field. And again, the next problem is the acidity and salinity of the soil, and we are facing a lot of problem. Of course, salinity is increasing day by day, and then that too in North India and in the Indo-Gangetic plains and in Punjab, Haryana, even in parts of Rajasthan, in Gujarat. So wherever you see the command area, the delta areas or the intensive cultivated areas, and with the river water irrigations or dam water irrigation, so there the buildup of salinity is increasing, and salinity is also increasing. So with these increased problems, how we are going to produce the required food for the population of 1.4 billion that we are having currently in the countries. So then again, because of the salinity, salinity, the soil is quality is also deteriorating. Poor soil structures, poor soil compaction, and because of the poor soil compaction, poor aeration, and then poor drainage, and among all, again, the fertility of the soil. And again, you all agree with me that the fertility is really we are in a danger mark, I can say. Currently, what we are having in India, the carbon content of our Indian soil is 0.3%. It is 0.3 gram per 100 gram. You use 3 gram per kg of soil. So with that, what we can do it? Even if you apply more and more of fertilizers, if your soil is not having required organic carbon, definitely that soil cannot even support with applied nutrients through fertilizers. So this is the reality. Reality, it is happening. See, during green revolution, when we apply 1 kg of fertilizers, we used to get 5 to 6 kg of produce. But now even with 1 kg, we are not even getting 2 kg. So why it is so? The same quantity we are applying, but we are not getting required, it's not desired yield. The reason is the soil is not supporting because of the poor soil organic carbon status. Due to the poor organic carbon, the soil microbial activities, the enzymatic activities, everything is reduced in the soil. So that way, again, that is another problem. And then next group is water. Water related, you see water shortage. In one part of the country, we have enough water. Another part is almost like a drought kind of situation. The salinity, then frequent drought condition, groundwater level falling. You see in city like Bangalore, we are facing the problem, and that groundwater now it is reached more than 800 feet. Below that depth only we can get them. So then again, degradation due to erosion, and then unfavorable topography, shrinking of arable land. So we are losing our good arable land to the industries, to the real estate, and to the infrastructures, and to the recreation activities. So many purpose, and because the amount, the price, what the other sectors are offering for the land is huge when compared to the farmers when he or she wanted to buy the land. So with this problem, how we are going to meet out the required food production or the required vegetables to the people of this country? So I am sure to some extent, I am sure that soilless culture can definitely helps to bypass these soil limitation, water related problems, and land related problems, and definitely it will enable more controlled, efficient, and consistent crop production. So that way, that doesn't mean with this I'm not underestimating the power of the soil. So soil is always a soil, is a Mother Earth. So that is supporting us, and that supported earlier, and that is going to support in the future as well. But even then, with the problem what we are facing in the soil, so we need to look into the alternative, so that that alternative method of cultivation can support the soil even to come back to their original conditions. So that way, it is a complementary technology. It is not the replacing one or supplement. So that way, this and soil-based cultivation can go together, and that way each one can benefit mutually. So that is the my point. What I would like to. So there is no contradiction. There is no that many you can ask that whether this is going to me the what is that sufficient to meet out the required food production or what else. So it is a kind of alternative, and definitely it requires in the present situation. And with this, what is cocoponics? So cocoponic, because you know about hydroponics, aeroponics, aquaponics, and anoponics, etc. Now the I am talking about cocoponics. So cocoponics, it is a method of growing plants in cocoa peat-based substrates. When we grow plants in cocoa peat alone or cocoa peat-based substrates, when we combine cocoa peat with other soilless substrates or media, then that method we can call it as the cocoponics. So that is what I wanted to inform you all. And the advantage of this, because of its superior aeration and water holding capacity and compatibility with the fertigation, make it is one of the highly suitable for precision horticulture and protected cultivation and urban farming systems. So that way, anybody is interested to do precision horticulture or to do under protected cultivation, I think this is one of the best method. You can do it and you can get benefit out of that. And for the urban people, because what we need to implement cocoponics. So I mentioned about cocoponics, even given the definition of cocoponics. Now, to start cocoponics, what is required? So we need a few inputs or materials. So what is that? In the open field, we can plow the land and we can cultivate it. That is one. But here in soilless or in cocoponics, we need a container to hold the substrate. And we need the substrate because we are not using soil here. We need a substrate. Here in this particular method, it is fully with cocoa peat. So that way, cocoa peat is available in the market, either in the loose or in the block, either it is in the washed one or processed one or fermented one or enriched one. Likewise, many substrates are available, cocoa peat based substrates I'm telling. And then seeds and seedlings. So that way you can get the seeds and seedlings from the reputed nurseries or the institutes or KVKs. And above all, the nutrient solution. So the success or failure of this particular method is strictly depends on the management of the nutrients, how you are going to manage the nutrients. If you are not having such expertise in managing the pH of the media or pH of the fertigation solution or EC or the nutrient, or so then you cannot be a successful grower in this method. So that way, this is required initial the training, and then with slowly you can gain experience by starting with the leafy vegetables. So don't jump directly into the capsicum or into the cucumber. So beginner, I request you all to start with the leafy vegetables. So you learn it, this particular method. It is not that I can attend a training, then I can start it. Definitely you can start it, but you start with the leaf vegetables. So that way, suppose many of you are from the urban areas, and if you have a terrace of 100 square meter, and you can do a soilless terrace garden, and this is what I projected or I displayed here. You can see. So this is an area of almost the 100 square meter. So in this area, you can accommodate closely 200 plus grow bags. So this is silk pollen grow bags of size of 12 by 12 or 15 by 15 inch or 12 by 15 inch. So this is for 100 square meter area. The investment wise, for terrace gardener, 30,000 is required, that too without shade net. If you want to have a shade net wherever the temperature is high, so and that too in north during summer, and in south also we are facing a lot of temperature issues. So that way you can have a terrace with the shade net. So that is again will add another 1 lakh rupees in the budget. So with this, you can have a beautiful terrace garden, and in that you can grow vegetable, flowers, and then medicinal herbs, and even the fruits of like guava, banana, then the lemon, even pomegranate, then the passion fruit, dragon fruit. So likewise, you can grow it in the terrace. So it is possible, and we are doing it. And people in Bangalore and even other parts of this country, they are doing it, and that way some are doing with soil, and but we are promoting soilless based terrace garden, and for reason is the weight and the easy way of management, and so the weight of the terrace, the load bearing capacity of the terrace also we have to see. So that is the reason why we promote this for the terrace garden, soilless based terrace garden. And what is required for terrace garden? First is the requirement of sunlight. So for growing any crops, not only the vegetables, even for other crops, we need a sunlight hours of minimum of 4 hours per day, to 7 hours and above. So that way, that to the direct sunlight, not the indirect sunlight. So per day, that much sunlight is required to get optimum growth and the optimum yield in vegetables. So this is the model terrace garden what we established in IHR through the support from the RKUI government of Karnataka. So we have here 100 square meter area terrace garden, then 50 square meter area terrace garden. One more we have with 80 square meter. So that way we are having it, and people from all over the country they visit whenever they come here. They are coming to the terrace garden. They are seeing that way. Daily minimum of 5 to 10 visitors visiting to this terrace garden in IHR. So that way, because terrace garden is simple. Anybody, what is there? We can take some grow bags and we can grow the plant. But to get some idea, so they have to see. For that only we have demonstrated, and we are always the crops will be there in the terrace garden. So you are all welcome whenever you come to Bangalore. You can visit IHR that way. And then the choice of containers or grow bags. So again, you see earlier we used more of the cement container, then earthen container, then wooden container. But now the container usage wise, mostly it is a plastic container or grow bags. Only these two are in the market, and the people are preferring these two only. Of course, some they may use the wooden one because of their affordability, and that way they even some they are using designer pots. So it is up to the individual, but majority, based on our experience, so they are using mostly the plastic container or the grow bags. Again, grow bags wise, seal poly one, then the simple grow bags with the GSM of 50 GSM is also available, 200 GSM is also available. So that way, for the terrace gardener, better thickness is recommended. For the commercial grower, this one white one is recommended because of the cost advantage. So it is very cheap. You can buy in kgs. So that way, this is very useful for the commercial growers. So what is the size? That is the next question may come in your mind. That better to use 12 by 12 inch. That is the most ideal one for commercial as well as for the terrace level. And still, if you want for the terrace gardener, 12 into 15, 15 into 15 inch size. And then for the leaf vegetables, 18 by 9 inch. That size is also recommended. Here, the depth of the grow bag is 9 inch. So because for leaf vegetables, that requires a shallow depth compared to the other crops. And then 2 by 2 feet, that is mainly for the fruit crops. Even some of the vegetable crops like moringa. So for that, you can use 2 by 2 feet grow bags. So these are all the sizes which we have even worked out, and we finally identified these sizes are more suitable for the commercial as well as for the terrace gardener. And the third important input is the substrate. And you see, substrate is very important. And that way, before choosing the substrate, of course, I am strictly focusing on the cocoa peat. But even then, I would like to enlighten your information, so or enrich your knowledge on other substrates as well, so that you can have some idea and you can have some kind of combinations or fermentations. So all those things you can have. So for that, I would like to use some additional information that is mainly, so to choose a substrate, you have to see these four important functions. Okay, so like soil is the one substrate which can provide all these four, or which can serve all these four functions to the plants. So similar to the soil, we have to see the other substrates. So that way, for that, any substrate, whatever you select or when you choose, you have to see the substrate should act as a nutrient reservoir. It should hold a nutrient on its surface so that it can supply to the plants when it needs. And then it should also hold enough water. So the water holding capacity of the substrate should be enough. So for that, we have to see. And it should provide good aeration. The plenty of oxygen availability is very much required for the better root growth. and we have to see the support of physical support. So when we grow the plants in the substrate, the plant should be in upright position and it should withstand on its the media. So that way, these four functions, any substrate when you use, choose and use, you have to see. So no doubt soil is the one which is taking care of all this, but other than soil, what else? And in that category, coco peat is the one in soilless section, this fulfilling all these four functions and better than soil. And you all agree with me that the soilless substrate, that is the coco peat, can hold better nutrients in its surface and it can hold more water than the soil. It can provide good aeration and better than the soil. And of course, the physical support wise, it is the inferior to soil. It is not superior to soil, but for vegetables, we can provide support. So that way, it is not a problem in giving the support through the tying or with the rod or the iron pole or etc. So that way we can do it, provide the support. So you see here, this coco peat is the one which can take care of all these things. And the specification of the substrates. So whenever you buy or when you get the coco peat or any other substrate back, you see on its that what is there. So first of all, any substrate, it should be mostly an inert material. So it should not react much with the applied nutrients, like in soil. See, soil usually interact with the nutrients. It should not be like soil. Okay, so soil usually interact with the nutrients, and sometimes it gets exchanged, sometimes it gets fixed, and sometimes it gets fixed in the clay minerals. And in soil, different types of clay minerals are there, 1:1, 2:1, and so that way they can take the nutrients to the inside of the clay minerals, so or that matrices of the clay minerals. So that way, most of the nutrients gets fixed, particularly the potassium and other thing. But that kind of interactions is not there in case of the coco peat. And but the exchange capacity is better. Cation exchange capacity is better, but only on its surface, not in inside the particles. So that way, the exchange is good and it is readily available for the plant to take the nutrients. And then the pH of the substrates, any substrate should be neutral in nature. It should not be too acidic, it should not be too saline or alkaline, and somewhere in between 6.5 to 7.5. And coco peat is always having slightly acidic pH, close to the neutral. And that may for vegetables, most of the vegetables, they like acidic pH, slightly acidic pH, and they love the acidic pH. And so that way, growing vegetables in coco peat is not at all a problem. And so that way you can get the coco peat and use it. And the substrate should be free from heavy metals and radioactive pollutants. And in that way also, coco peat is not having any heavy metals because it is a plant origin based, not the mined from the nature. So that way it is not having much of heavy metals or it's not having radioactive pollutants, and it is porous in nature. And the density of coco peat is light compared to the soil, and it is 1/10 of the soil. The soil belt density, average soil belt density is 1.5 megagram per meter cube, but the bulk density of the coco peat is 0.15 megagram per meter cube. The 1/10 of the soil bulk density. So weight is 1/10 of the soil weight. So that is the reason why I recommend strongly this particular media for soilless cultivation in terrace, because when you choose soil and use it in terrace, you need a maximum of 20 tons per 100 square meter area. But when you use coco peat, you need only 2 tons. So you can reduce 18 tons on your terrace. So huge weight you are reducing because of changing the substrate. And that helps in improving the structural capacity of the buildings. So that way you no need to worry about the bearing capacity of the load bearing capacity of the building. And the substrate should be hydrophilic in nature. It should love the water. It should not hate the water. And that way coco peat is taking as much as possible the water. And even sometimes when it is in completely compressed form, it can even expand up to 10 times. That much is the level of expansion of coco peat. with applied water. So that way it's having much higher water holding capacity than the soil. Average soil can have maximum of 40 to 45% water holding capacity, not more than that, because ideal soil can have only 50%, either air or water. Together it can have only 50%. Even entire air space filled with water, you can go maximum of 550%. So that is the level, that is the limitation with soil, and that is sufficient for crop growth. But here in cocoa peat, it can have even the loose one can have up to 300%. The compressed one can have up to even 1000%. So that is the level of water quality capacity. So other things like as much as possible we have to use in natural form. So these are all other points, you can go through it. I will share the slides in PDF format. Please, you can go through it. So coming to the types of substrates, again, we can classify the substrates into two groups, inorganic and organic. And you see in inorganic category, mostly the mined products from the nature, either in the iron ore industries or the granite industries or other industries. So that way, perlite, sand, vermiculite, rock wool, they're all considered as inorganic substrates. Coming to the organic, peat moss, wood residues, sawdust, bark material, and cocoa peat. So these are all coming under the organic category. So among all, cocoa peat is now taking the lead in organic substrate category, and because of its availability, and because of its affordability, and because of its characteristics, and because of its proven track record on performance of the crop growth. So that way, cocoa peat is now leading in soilless sector, and it also stimulates the root growth, and it is also offering some kind of natural resistance to the certain pest disease causing agents. So due to the presence of certain organic compounds like little bit of tannins and a little bit of phenols, so that helps in managing the pest and diseases as well. So these are all the advantage with the cocoa peat. And some of the pictures of the inorganic substrates, you can see here how rock wool looks, perlite, vermiculite, humus, and some of the organic substrates images are given here. And in the past, in Western countries, they used mostly the hydroponics. The previous speaker, he nicely explained about all the techniques of hydroponics. And you see in the past, mostly in the Western countries, they used hydroponics, like NFT, nutrient film technique, and deep floating techniques, and deep water culture, and other methods of hydroponics. And they used mostly the inorganic substrates like rock wool, perlite, other substrates to grow the vegetables, tomato, lettuce, cucumber, melons, cauliflower, and to some extent flower crops like rose, gerbera, carnation, chrysanthemum. And so that way, mostly they focused on the high value vegetables and high value flowers. So this is how in Western countries they adopted soilless culture in the past. But even now in these countries, you can't see much of these technologies, because everywhere now they switched over to cocoa peat based soilless cultivation because of the advantages offered by cocoponics, and because of the environmental point of view. These substrates like rock wool are all creating a lot of problem to the environment and to the health concerns point of view. So that way, cocoponics is now leading in the world and in India as well. And so with that, we in IHR, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, so what we did, we started doing some kind of research to make a wonderful media through the with the help of coir peat. So for that, we started work, and finally we come out with a substrate, a cocoa peat, and we call it as fermented cocoa peat. And this product is one of the important product of IHR. And if we initially recommended to the nursery industry, mainly for the vegetable nursery industry. Now, after that, we started adopting this substrate for soilless cultivation, and with intensive research at IHR in the last few years, and with several crops, as pointed out by Madam in the by that. So that way, now it is very much suitable for soilless cultivation. I am not suggesting only this. Any coir peat which is having neutral pH and less easy, that is less than 1, then you can start using it, and that way any coir peat or cocoa peat with ideal characteristics are very much recommended to use it in as a media for soilless cultivation. And this is the characteristics of our fermented cocoa peat, 30 days old material. And when raw coir peat, the chemical characteristics we worked out and we analyzed in the laboratory. And when it converted into the fermented cocoa peat, and many things or many changes happened, particularly in nutrient point of view. The nutrient content gets increased, and the CN ratio get reduced, and the unwanted compounds, that is the tannins and phenols, are reduced. So this is what we did with the fermentation process with the help of our own the fungal consortium followed by bacterial consortium enrichment. So this material is now full of microbial load. So even if you want to do at your level, you can do the process that we tell you. If anybody is interested, you are always welcome to contact us. So you can do it at your place itself. So there is no need to worry about only you have to buy from here. You can do it to your place. Then types of soilless culture. And majority, based on my experience and interaction with the visitors, and even with the faculty and with the students and the city people, and many of them, they think hydroponic is the soilless, only soil. And I strongly tell you all that please, hydroponic is part of soilless cultivation. It is not the only soilless cultivation. And of course, in the past, everybody, we including myself, I thought that only soil hydroponics. But now with the emergence of other methods like cocoponics, and now the area is expanding, soilless cultivation, and in that hydroponics is one part, and cocoponics is now no doubt now in India, if you see, or even in the world, cocoponics is taking lead and followed by hydroponics, and followed by aeroponics, and then aquaponics. So that way, these methods are doing very well in soilless cultivation. So types of soilless cultivation. Again, substrate-based soilless cultivation, water-based soilless cultivation. When you use substrates, solid substrate, then we can call it as substrate-based soilless cultivation. Again, if you use organic, inorganic, again we can group it. And water culture, where only we use water. Even here in water culture also we use little bit of cocoa peat, or little bit of perlite, or little bit of leca, or little bit of any other solid substrates. So even here in water culture also we use solid substrate, but in little quantity. But here in substrate culture we use more of solid substrate. So advantage of all these methods, and no doubt it is really giving better water and nutrient use efficiency. There is a possibility of even saving up to 90% water when compared to the soil-based cultivation. And it is possible to save even 50 to 60% of the nutrient compared to the soil-based cultivation. So that is the reason, being a water shortage country, and being a fertilizer importing country, we have to see really these two important aspects of water and nutrient use efficiency. We have to see that, so that we can reduce the import of fertilizers, and we can save the water. And that way, these methods are definitely helpful for saving these two important and very precious inputs in the country. And this hydroponics, I think you know very well what is hydroponics. It is a method of growing plants in a solution, in a water solution, I can say, which is dissolved in nutrient. Okay. So in a simple way, water plus dissolved nutrients. So with that, hydroponics can be practiced. And here in hydroponics, crop root, either intermittently it gets contact with the solution, or permanently also it will be on the water nutrient solution. But in aeroponics, here we spray the same nutrient solution on the roots of the plants in the form of mist. So that is we call it as aeroponics. And this method is very much successful in seed potato tuber production. We in IHR, we use this method to produce the gladulus calm. So that way, this part, the adaptation wise, it is after hydroponics and after aquaponics. And then aquaponics is a hybrid version of hydroponics and aquaculture. So here you can see both fish tank and plant the NFT one. So the plant and fish, they grow together. So that way it is both of them, they get benefit. So this is again picking up because suppose if we lose market in vegetables, you can get better price in fish. So that may it is really a kind of added advantage when we grow both fish and plants. Then what are the vegetables are suitable? And or even for that matter other crops. So that way most of the vegetables are suitable for soilless cultivation. Most of the medicinal plants are suitable for soilless cultivation. Medicinal herbs, I'm telling medicinal herbs. And fruit crops wise, strawberry, blueberry, and for terrace level, even some of the guava, lemons, the pomegranate, that kind of. So even fodder hydroponics, that is again picking up in the coastal region of this country. Even in Goa, it is gained much popularity. So that way, the adaptation is expanding. There is no limitation for this particular technology. And even area-wise, sir, I don't have an acre of land. No, no, not to worry. You can do this even in from balcony to palios, and for hobby to commercial level cultivations, and for home scale consumption to the marketing level. So that way, for any type of cultivation, you can use this method. With respect to the availability of the seeds or purchase of the seeds and planting material, so you can do it at your place itself, or otherwise, if you want to buy IHR seeds, you are welcome to buy. And for that, we have created exclusive IHR seed portal. And if this is the first page of the seed portal. You can select the crop and variety, and you can order it from the place of your residence. And that with that all the inputs with the container, with the media, and with the nutrient solution, and with the seeds, and you can start your aquaponics from home scale to the polyhouse level. So first what we have to do it, we have to check the container, that is a grow bag, to see whether the holes are there or not in the bottom of the container. The holes are required to provide a drainage, and to require to provide again leachings to sometime whenever the salt is built up. Then for transplanted vegetables, we have to raise the seedlings in the pro tray using coco peat, like tomato, chili, capsicum, cauliflower, and also we can raise the seedlings, and then we can plant it on the medium. And then for the crops like legumes, leaf vegetables, that you can buy the seeds directly, and you can use it and in the grow bag. So the depth of the sowing should be how much? The depth of the sowing should be 2.5 size of the 2.5 size of the seeds size. So that way we have to do it. And suppose in the terrace garden, if you want to have staggered sowing, you can do it because if you want to have or harvest the vegetables continuously, you can go for staggered sowing or planting. So with this, now I will show some of the images of the experiment what we did in IHR with soilless cultivation, or I can say the aquaponics. So by seeing this, you can believe it, and you can even think of switching over to soilless cultivation, either in your terrace or in your polyhouse. So that way, I will go one by one, the crop after crop. And the first crop what we started is that is the tomato, and that our variety, triple disease resistant variety of IHR correction. You see here, this is the rectangular grow bag of a size of 4 feet length and 1 feet height and 1 feet width. And you see the growth of the tomato plant, vegetative growth, and again we tried it in the open, and you see the fruits set in this method. And this is the harvested fruits, and here we accommodated 3 plants per bag. And but commercially we recommend to go with the single grow bag with a single plant in the grow bag. So again, next crop what we conducted, that is the zucchini, summer squash. Again, 2 types are there, green and yellow. And again, it is a short duration crop and a wonderful crop. And you see the growth here in this method, how beautifully it is grown in this method. And in the open field, you see the difference between soil and soilless. The same crop, the same time sowing, but the difference in growth, height, and leaf size, a lot of difference, And that the yield wise also huge difference when we grow in soilless in the open as well as in the polyhouse. And in the open condition, we could get the yield of 5.27 kg per plant, but in the polyhouse 3.74. But in the polyhouse, the problem is the pollination. Since it is a cross-pollinated crop, it requires insect-based pollination. So that way, in open it is happening. So otherwise, in the polyhouse, it is full of male-dominated flowers than the female one. So that way, it is most preferred in the open soil method. And again, the yield between soil and soilless, you see the difference again. And the next crop is the cabbage, the two color cabbage. So we did it in the polyhouse as well as in the open, and we could get here also better yield in the open than in the polyhouse. However, both are okay for growing cabbage. And the next crop we tried is chili. Again, we did it in the open and polyhouse. In open, we could get better yield than in the polyhouse. So that way, really, this crop is also doing well and did well as well. In next crop is the green long brinjal, and that is again a very important crop. But if you see in soil-based cultivation, farmers they use a lot of pesticide to manage two important pests in brinjal. That is the brinjal shoot and fruit border, and another one is ash wheel. But here, when we grow the brinjal, green long brinjal in polyhouse under soilless cultivation, you can take care of that pest as well as soil-borne diseases like wilt. So that way, it is giving better results in polyhouse than in the open condition. You can see the yield of per plant. So that way, it is highly recommended to grow brinjal, green long brinjal in polyhouse under soilless culture than in the open soilless culture. And next is the group of leaf vegetables. Almost all the leaf vegetables are recommended for growing under soilless culture. And that if you are a starter or you are a beginner, you please start with the leaf vegetables, and then you will gain a lot of experience and expertise. So with that, you can move to the other crops. So that is how we have to start. Otherwise, you will face a lot of problem when we start with other vegetables. So that way, please you do it with the leaf vegetable and learn it, and then you move to other crops. I think this is the amaranthus, which we even demonstrated in some of the exhibition. And you see how beautifully it is grown in the grow bag of 12 by 12 inches. And this is the kind of growth you can get it, and without any pest and much diseases. And very profusely it is grown in this method. And next is the English cucumber, again, the interesting crop, sorry, our traditional cucumber. And we like cucumber very much. So that way cucumber is also recommended, and it is doing very well. And both our own in traditional cucumber or English cucumber, they are doing very well. And next is a group of legumes. Almost all the legumes, they do very well in this method. As you see here in beans, and you see here in garden peas, and in cowpea, and in dolichos. The fantastic fruit set in Paul Dolichos, you see, per bag we used to get 3.5 to 4 kg. This is in rectangular grow bag. I'm talking about rectangular grow bag. And next is root vegetables. So if you see root vegetable performance, whether it is radish, again, interesting crop. Radish is very short duration, and you can do it after leaf vegetables. You can do even start with the radish and the zucchini and other crops. And the lettuce, excellent crop for this method of cultivation. In lettuce, 60 plus type of varieties are there, and green, red, and purple, and even. So then again, squash, round the squash or patty pan, that is also recommended to do in soilless cultivation. And again, lulcol, excellent crop, and again, short duration one. You can do it, and it gives excellent result. Then we do have a lot of polyhouses with soilless cultivation. And this is one polyhouse with a demonstration of the crops. So whenever visitors visit IHR, then we take them to this polyhouse as well as to the terrace garden so that they can see it. It is not that the work of only we do research and then close it and go for next. So we keep on demonstrating continuously to the benefit of the visitors. So that is how the technology will spread, and that way we're very happy that a lot of work we have done it and we are spreading it. And almost that way IHR is leading in soilless cultivation in the entire country, and in demonstration as well. And in commercial cultivation, you see here the cabbage, the capsicum, the color capsicum cultivation in commercial aquaponics, and the beautiful pollock in commercial aquaponics. You see here the growth of the pollock. It is now in the stage of baby pollock. And to see another advantage with this method, you can't see any growth of the weeds. So you see this particular grow bag, you harvest it and bundle it and sell it. There is no need of washing. There is no need of even removing the weeds. So that way the buyers, they see it and they buy it happily, then they use it. So that is how we can promote it when we grow in soilless cultivation, that too in cocoponics. And again, coming to the hydroponics, this is what we have it in IHR, that horizontal hydroponics, and then NFT, then vertical, then the weak system of hydroponics, then deep the NFT. This is the NFT, and then this aeroponics of lettuce in IHR, and this is the deep water culture. Again, another interesting method, and it is from the commercial one. And you see here the lettuce growth in deep water culture. Really, I am amazed to see such a growth even in this method with water and nutrients. So each one can get better price in the market. Then the iceberg lettuce and then mint. And that way, so I hope with these all images and it is all not a downloaded one. It is from our own experience and from our own experiment and from our practitioners. So because we have trained so far close to 5,000 people on this particular aspects in IHR, and all the trainings are on paid basis, not in a free basis. So that is how even with that we could able to reach out to more than 5,000 plus participants across the country. So the last segment of this presentation is the nutrient management. So I said in the beginning, the success or failure of the cocoponics or soilless cultivation is strictly depends on the nutrient management. You all know very well because I could see many of the participants' profile. They are all doctorate and then master graduates and then graduates and many good entrepreneurs. So that way, really, you all very elite people and very learned people. So that way, you see here, the nutrient-wise, 17 elements considered essential for the growth of the plant and development of the plant. And in this method, soilless method, we have to consider most of the nutrients which are considered essential, other than carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, even oxygen also we consider here, that too through providing aerations. So that way we are taking care of most of the nutrients. It is not like soil, because you know very well soil is a mineral matter. So soil is having a composition of 45% to 48%, even sometimes to the 49% of mineral matter. So, but cocoa peat or soilless substrate, particularly plant or animal paste cocoa substrates, are full of organic matter, mineral matter, or very less. So that is the reason why soil can support even without applying fertilizers if it is having good fertility. But cocoa peat or any soilless substrate cannot support the plant more than 1 month. So that is the reason why we have to be very perfect in fertigation program. So that way we consider NPK, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, micronutrients. So most of the medium contains the nutrient, but in small quantity that may not be sufficient to meet out the requirement of the plant growth. So that is why I said that success or failure of soilless cultivation strictly depends on the management of the nutrients. So we have a complete nutrition solution formula for most of the crops what we have worked out in IHR. So that way, if anybody is interested, you can directly approach us, and we will guide you and help you to get and to grow in a better way. So that way, there is no dearth of technology or knowledge on this particular aspect. So we are always available to the people. And if you suppose somebody in terrace level, if you are interested to manage nutrients organically and without any fertilizers, so you are welcome to use some of the manures or compost. And by mixing compost or vermicompost or FIM with cocoa peat at the rate of 1:1:1 volume by volume ratio, and you can grow the crop. So that way it is recommended. You people can start it and use it. So that is not a problem. And that this is the standardized NPK levels for different crops. And of course, we have worked out for all the nutrients, including calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and micronutrients, even up to molybdenum. So, but we have all the things, but we can't give everything to the people because nowadays everything is like commercialization. So that way, that is why only major nutrients I have given here. And with this all, so when we started giving training to the people like you, So that way, actually, this particular training we give it on charge based. But today, you are all lucky, I can say, because of this particular our organizers, they have done a fantastic job of arranging this kind of lectures, and so that way you all benefit from this kind of lectures. And so with the standardized NPK levels and other nutrients, we made a product that is a liquid nutrient formulation. So we have a part A and part B. This is released again, called as Arcacia Posa grass, and it is suitable for mostly the urban and peri-urban terrace rooftop organic gardening. So you can buy and use it, and this is again certified by Indian Council of Agricultural Research during its foundation day. So we have commercialized to many people, and many of them they started selling it through online and through offline through outlets. And how to after purchasing this particular product, how to use this product. So that is very important. And most of them they put it in their bottles, but even then for the benefit of participants, I put one slide for that. And so here 1 liter of bottle A and bottle B both, you can mix it 200 liter of the tank. So that means for liter it is recommended 5 ml per liter. So that too for the crops like tomato, chili, cabbage, cucumber, rich gourd, zucchini, coffee. For legumes, 4 ml of solution A and B is sufficient. For leafy vegetables, 3.5 ml is sufficient. So this is for rectangular grow bags, I recommended. For circular grow bags or small grow bags, 12 by 12 inch, 200 ml is sufficient. This is for the urban and peri-urban people. So how frequently we have to apply? First 10 days not required to apply nutrients, only water. You give it to the bags and after sowing or after transplanting. Then later on you focus on giving this particular solution twice per week. If need be 3 times per week. So this is how we recommend it based on our standardization. And these are all the startup companies and government. They have taken license of this technology, including the government of Kerala, and that way we have now licensed this technology to Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, even to Andhra and to Telangana, and then to the Odisha. So this is the online platform where you can buy this product, and we have licensed to several people. So at various occasion. Again, this is the stock solution. How to prepare stock solution? Prepare that one is given here mainly for the commercial cultivation. So this is the one for tomato, and you see we have again we have calculated the required quantity. This is the list of raw material for tank A and tank B, and this is the quantity you have to add it in 100-liter stock solution. From this stock solution, you can apply to the crop based on the growth stages of the crop. So, for example, tomato transplanting to plant establishment stage, the EC level to be maintained 0.4, 0.8. For vegetative growth, 0.8 to 1.2. For flower and fruit, 1.2 to 2.2. Food development. Like that, stage-wise, we can maintain it. The quantity of application, the frequency of all those things are given for commercial cultivation. And so that way commercial part is taken care. For urban and very urban terrace gardener, so watering is again another important aspect. We have to water it for summer season 2 times. Only we have to apply on the surface of the media. That to a measured quantity of up to 200 ml per bag. For winter season, only 1 time is sufficient. For rainy season, based on the rainfall quantity, you can decide the application of water. So pest and disease also we, as usual, like in soil or in protected cultivation, how we manage, you can manage it. But advantage in this method, the soil-borne pathogens or diseases are less. So that way the pesticide usage is very much reduced in the method of cultivation. However, the airborne pest and diseases, as usual, you have to manage it through the application of pesticides. And so otherwise, for organic way of management, you can use neem oil, neem soap, fungamia soap, and biopesticides, sticky traps, etc. It is recommended to use it so that you can manage the pest organically. And then staking is required. Weeding, yeah, this is the important aspect. For soilless cultivation in cocoa-ponics, there is no need of weeding at all. So because you see a cost of cultivation of farmers, any farmer, he has to spend or she has to spend Out of 100 rupees, 30 rupees for field preparation. 30 rupees, close to 30 rupees for weed management. Another 30 rupees for the pesticide, fertilizers, fungicide, and productions, etc. So the extra 10% for seeds and planting. So, but here, no need of field preparation. There is no need of weeding. So straight away you can save so much money. So of course, initial investment is required, but later on your investment is not required. So that will be a lot of advantages. You can reduce labor requirement. You can manage with a few labors. So that way it is easy to manage with the automated fertigation program. And then harvesting, repotting. Again, repotting is not required in soilless, but in soil-based grow bags, you have to go for repotting. So with these several advantages, and even we have worked out the cost economics. So for 100 square meter area, among the vegetables, zucchini found to be most economic compared to the other crops because zucchini is costly, but marketing is not that much. But once the area is expanded, the cost may come down, price may come down. But not personally, this is most economic one. And this is the terrace garden what we have established in IHR. And we always receive a lot of students from schools, colleges, and then so that way we are trying to create awareness on these particular aspects to the young children, to the elders in the country. And ex-minister of government of Karnataka, horticulture minister, he visited and witnessed the terrace garden, and he, in fact, after that, he supported us through RKY funding. Through that, we were able to reach out to the people in Bangalore through the demonstrations. And again, in the state of Kerala, we are very much into all the districts of Kerala, and almost all 14 districts through our Arka vertical garden or through our soil cultivation. Two honorable ministers of agriculture and others, they have even relative that inaugurated this particular method of cultivation in Trivandrum. So that way we are into entire state of Kerala, and now we are into the Odisha, and next we submitted to the island, that is the government Lakshadweep island. We are now moving to the Andaman. So that way we are now spreading this technology to all the places. And with this, I am now at the end of the presentation. So finally, a lot of advantages, no doubt, and I hope at the end of my presentation you accept it. And so when we do this kind of cultivation either in the terrace or in the palios, I am sure that we will get fresh, clean, healthy, and tastier produce, and you with reduced soil-borne diseases. And the continuous growing is possible in a container that with coco peat, because here no gap between two crop cycle. Because there is no need of field preparation, there is no need of even weeding, and then the labor requirement is very less, and that way you can save cost on vegetables. Suppose if you grow crops on your terrace, and you can maintain healthy environment on your terrace, and you can even use it as a mini park. And in fact, last week, one of the our trainee from here in Bangalore, he came and showed me that a beautiful, like a mini park he is having in his terrace of 800 square feet. So he is having almost more than 50 species of tree crops. So you imagine how it is spreading now. And that way you can maintain fresh, clean air. And that way we are very fortunate to have better air in the city of Bangalore compared to the city of Delhi. So our air pollution is almost one fourth or fifth of the Delhi air pollution. So we are getting good air with the air pollution index of even less than 100 in some of the places. So so then you can spend your valuable time in garden to your home. So that way you can refresh your mind, you can feel better, and you can relax, and so you can reduce temperature, and it makes your house cooler, and that may heat absorption on your terrace it is reduced. So these are all the advantages. And few disadvantages, of course, it requires high initial cost. Suppose for polygons level, you need polygons, and you need grow bags, you need coco peat, you need the fertigation system, and you need so all the thing you have to invest it. And more than that, as a grower, you should know technical knowledge, mainly on the agronomy aspects of the crop and physiology aspects of the crop. And you need quality of water, good quality water. For hydroponics, it is carbo water. For aquaponics, even your borehole water is okay, if provided the EC of your borehole water is less than 1. So that way it is possible to have the commercial or terrace garden with soilless and the aquaponics. So finally, I conclude my presentation, and I'm sure for the terrace gardener, and it is a perfect remedy, and that too in the present era of hectic schedule in our daily routine life. And so to fight against the daily exhaustive routine and to enjoy the stress-free life with the easiness, I recommend you all, please, you practice wherever you have the space, whether it is 1 square meter area or 100 square meter area or 1 acre or 1 hectare, and you do it. And finally, even suppose I'm not telling that everywhere you have to adopt it. Wherever soil is not suitable, wherever land is undulated, wherever space is constrained, wherever soil is sandy, wherever soil is sodic. So there we try to adopt it, and so that way you can get benefit of this particular technology. Thank you so much, and because I see now 141 participants, really a good number, and I thank all the participants for listening this presentation and with your patience. So really, I must thank all of you, and I thank the organizers for providing me this opportunity to convey my message, what we did in IHR, for the benefit of the participants from all over India. So thank you all. Now I invite any doubts or queries or questions. If personally permitted, I can answer it. Otherwise, as you some of the participants, they said that we can make a group, and in that also you can interact. I'm always available, and I am ready to answer it. Thank you so much. Madam, I completed. It is now over to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, madam.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. Sir, on the behalf of all, I just want to ask you a question. Like, what advice would you give to students and researchers who are interested in cocoponics?
No, for growing point of view, madam, or for research point of view. So if you tell clearly, then
Sir, I asked from the research point of view.
yeah, research wise, madam, still many more things are required to be done. Mainly students of engineering or architectures, or even suppose some of you in computer science. So we need a lot of automation. So a lot of automation is required in fertigations. We need a lot of sensors for testing the pH, EC, and the nutrient levels. And we need robotics. We need AI. So with that, we can even adopt this technology in a better way. So that way, still a lot of research are required. So that way, we in IHR, we have already signed MOU with several engineering colleges and universities. Even last week, we signed MOU with the SRM universities. So previously with all Bangalore-based engineering colleges, like Presidency universities, then Christ, like that, we are into agreement MOU with many. And so now our youngsters, and we, because you know the uncertain world now we are facing, and that too with the tariff era and all. Now we as citizen and our young graduates, students, they are our future. So they can take some of the researchable issues from these, and if they come out with better products or technologies, so that we can integrate in this, and if we can even take to this world also. So that way, that are all the researchable issues. And even in media, so we have still a lot of scope to go with fine tuning of the media, whether even in cocoa peat, by adding cocoa peat with a little bit of bark material or wood bark, or even other fibers, wood fibers, and then perlite, and then wool waste we have in northeast, Himalayan wools, and even other agriculture waste like groundnut shell, and then rice husk, and then wheat straw. So likewise, we have even the sugarcane bagasse, and then the jute waste, and then the argonite has. So a lot of things are there in agriculture. So that byproducts we can bring and use in this method of cultivation. So again, there a lot of researchable issues are there. So of course, we did with cocoa peat, we did with now wool waste, we did with even now spent mushroom waste. But so still a lot more research required to integrate all the agriculture waste into this method of cultivation, so that finally we can say nothing is waste in agriculture. So everything is useful, and that all the waste from the agriculture, we can bring it and use it in this method of cultivation. Even suppose vermiwash or even the biogas plant, we can use the slurry as a source of nutrient to this method of cultivation. Even from the distillery effluent, distillery industries, the effluent can be diluted and used here. So like that, many things are there. We can bring all the waste and use it in this method of cultivation.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Just one more question talking about the growing media. Sir, what criteria should be considered while selecting a growing medium?
Yes, that's what, madam, on that one particular slide I presented with the 4 important functions.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So one is the nutrient, the reservoir. So whenever any substrate, for example, if you use sand as a substrate, of course, sand is inorganic one, but if you use it as a substrate, you can't reserve the nutrient in the substrate, because when you apply, it will go down. Similarly, it cannot hold the water. Okay, sand cannot hold water.
Yes.
But it can provide good aeration, it can provide good support physically. So, but sand, if it is mixed with cocoa peat, or if it is mixed with the other fine materials, so then it will be a good combination. Similarly, perlite, you cannot use as a pure substrate, because perlite cannot hold the water. Perlite cannot reserve the nutrients, whatever we apply. But it can provide good aeration. It cannot also give support. So perlite purpose is only to give air, oxygen to the plant through better aeration. So that way, perlite cannot be used as a pure substrate. Okay, so that way, the only one substrate, cocoa peat, is the one which can be used purely 100% or by mixing with other substrate. But other substrate other than cocoa peat, no other substrate can be used purely without mixing other substrates. So that is these 4 important functions we have to remember, we have to consider when we select the substrates, either alone or in combination. So it is not that whatever I given that list of substrate is final. So you yourself, from your area, you can make your own combination, your own fermentation, and you can study it and you can promote it. It is not that only one product or one combination is the best. So here a lot of research is required, that already, and being the number 1 coconut grower in the world, and we are having more coconut area in the country. We are the largest exporter of cocoa peat in the world, and the cocoa peat market in the country through export and domestic is alone more than 4,000 crores in the country. So it is nowhere less than the commodity, that is cashew. So cocoa peat is nowhere inferior to cashew nut in terms of the value of business involved in this. And in next 5 years, the business of cocoa peat is going to be 25,000 crores. That is the estimation is given by the Ministry of MSME. So it is already available. So this is the target, and it is very much achievable already. We are into the right direction. You won't believe that when COVID started, the price of cocoa peat is 1 kg. That is compressed one is 9 rupees. Today it is 52 rupees. 52 rupees, almost a 5-fold increase. So that is the level of market demand for the material. And the reason is the kind of knowledge what the V spread, ICR spread, IHR spread, and the organization like you, Just Agriculture, you spread, and all of you, not limited to any particular individual or organization. Everybody, we contribute one or other way to promote this kind of technologies. So that way, our coconut growers are getting benefit, the coir industry is getting benefit, and we are getting a lot of the foreign exchange, and that way it is really doing well. Yeah, next, madam.
Sir. Okay, sir. Just done with the question. So On behalf of the organizing team and all participants, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. D. Kalaivanan for his insightful and enriching lecture. Sir, your clear explanation, research based insights, and practical perspectives have greatly benefited us all. We are grateful for your time, expertise, and valuable guidance, which will surely inspire us in our academic and professional pursuits. So, thank you so much, sir.
So thank you, madam. I must thank you all. And in fact, I have to thank our respected DDG sir, horticulture, Dr. S.K. Singh sir. I think you have sent a mail to him, and through that we could get, and then I send a reply. So that is how, whether it is required or not, whether it is give benefit to me or not. But I am always available to spread the technologies to the users. So that is my ultimate aim and motive. So nothing else. I thank my organization, my ICR, and my DDG staff for again. Otherwise, I would not have contacted you. Or I would not have had an opportunity to be here today to present this particular talk, madam.
I once again thanks to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. I am always available for any other purpose. Also, being a soil scientist, I am very expert in soil, nutrient management, and even soilless. So, any other things required, you are always welcome to contact me. I'm available. Thank
Okay,
you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Can I?
Yes, sir.
Madam?
Yes, sir, you can.
Thank you, madam. One more talk is there, madam, that any of some other day, microgreens, regarding microgreens, something I have shared.
Okay, sir. I'll let you know about it lately.
Okay, madam. Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Our sincere gratitude to all of you for your involvement, insightful interactions, and vibrant engagement in today's session. Your energy, curiosity, and eagerness to learn have truly enriched today's program, making the sessions not only engaging but also highly impactful. Each question, discussion, and shared perspective have added tremendous value, fostering a vibrant learning environment. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers for sharing their valuable knowledge, experiences, and insights, and to all participants for contributing so meaningfully to the success of yet another productive and enlightenment day. As we move forward, let us continue with the same spirit of enthusiasm, positivity, and dedication. May the knowledge gained and connections made today inspire innovative thinking and collaborative action in your respective fields. We eagerly look forward to your continued participations in the upcoming sessions as per the program schedule for more learning, interactions, and meaningful exchange of ideas in the days ahead. We sincerely appreciate your energy, engagement, and inspiration today. Have a delightful evening, keeping the motivation alive, and see you all again soon. Wishing you all a great evening. Thank you.